Hello, and yes, this is a video where I'm acting a little bit silly. It's this dress that I'm wearing that you can see. It has a body, a top with kind of elbow length sleeves, and then it has a skirt bit that's just one big wide gathered piece. And then the fun thing is that this fabric is actually also homemade. So I tried to dye a lot of fabric with natural colors last year, and this was one of the sheets that it didn't take that much color, and I think I just put some different pine cones in this one, but because the material is a little bit polyester, it didn't work. So I'm just dotting some little dots on them, and then that works perfectly. And then on to the actual dressmaking, I'm using my good old top that I'm always using and just marking like 1.5 centimeters around it, and making some long sleeves this time, and just making a quick sleeve or a quick neck opening. And then I will just mark down here on the front side, and be careful to only cut through the front layer and not both of them. And you can see, because I folded the top like I did, I actually don't need to stitch the top shoulder seams because they're already done. So I only need to stitch it down the sides, which is quite incredible. And then I'm just using the rest of the fabric to make the skirt bit, and I just need to make sure that it is 1.5 or 2 times wider than the top width. So if you want to have enough gathers and ruffles, then it needs to be at least 1.5 times as wide, and it at least is that now. So I'm just making a nice square. As you can see, that's how wide it will be. So that's very wide. So I'm just trying some different things here. Oh, should it be one way or should it be the other? Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm cutting it. And yeah, I finally decided how wide I was going to make it, and it's going to be quite wide. So now this is me actually stitching the skirt bit together. So making a long, big, wide tube. So this is a very long tube, and as I always do, I am putting some safety pins in, and putting safety pins in 4 places to make sure that I have enough distance between them. So put safety pins in 4 places on the top and 4 places in the skirt. And I've already stitched the top bit together. I'm sorry you didn't get to see that, but you've seen that in so many other episodes on my channel here, so I'm sure it'll be all right. But the safety pins are really good because then I can gather up the fabric here in between the safety pins. It makes it easy for me to administer how many ruffles, how many gathers I need to make. And of course, when you're using the serger, you just have to be really careful that you take the safety pins out and not try to stitch on top of them, because then there will be mayhem, and you'll break the knife and you'll get bits of needle in your eye, and really don't do that. And of course, when you do this, when you gather up the ruffles like this is a lot of material, a lot of ruffles. Be careful of your fingers. I am putting them quite close to my serger because I am a daredevil and because I've done it so many times. So just be really careful if you do it like that. Don't push the foot pedal before you're ready, because that will be bad for your fingers. But I've done it so many times, so yeah, that's why I do it like this. So this is me simply attaching the skirt bit to the top, going through it, using my safety pins for markers. I got them in 4 places, and then just adding lots of gathers, lots of ruffles between those safety pins, making sure that all that gathered material is evenly distributed, which it will be, or pretty much at least, because I have I have the safety pins in, so I know where my fabric is. And then I'm just putting it through my serger here. And you can also use a zigzag stitch, of course. I'm just using my serger because I love it, but you can easily use a zigzag stitch and a normal seam. The serger is just good because it cuts and makes sure that the fabric doesn't fray, and just does it very easily, and it's super nice. And if you have a serger, you can actually also use it to make this kind of roll seam, so you don't even have to hem it. But here I'm then folding it twice for the sleeve openings, folding it twice, so a double fold, first once and then again, and then stitching it in place, and then it's nice and neat, and you can't see any of the raw edges, you can't see any serger seams or any zigzag seams or whatever you have, because the edge is simply hidden in the actual hem. And then it's just the top opening, the neck opening. And what will I do here? I'm just cutting a little bit of material off, and then I'm actually trying here a double hem as well. So folding it once, folding it twice towards towards the back of the fabric. Normally I don't recommend this kind of technique for for hemming the neck opening, but sometimes it works. If you make it very, very, very thin and narrow, you can just make it work. And that's what happened in this case. And you know, it's always, if you give it a nice bit of ironing, then that always helps and makes it quite a bit neater. So that's good. And then we have it here. The material is a little bit see-through because it's a very, very thin old sheet material, but I still like it. And I think it's cool that you can also make your own fabric by just making lots of these little dots. And with fabric paint, you have to, of course, make sure that you fix it with heat. So yeah, put it, iron it a lot or give it heat some other way. Some people actually put it in the tumble dryer to fix it that way. I haven't tried that myself. But if you've added these dots, then make sure to iron it well before washing it, and then the colors will be fine. So thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.